Hi everyone, my name is Roselyn, and today Group 5 will be looking at the World Expo 2020 in Dubai, UAE. So just a little bit of summary. UAE, which stands for the United Arab Emirates, was established in 1971 and is a country located in the Middle East. UAE is an important location along the southern approaches to the Strait of Hormuz, a transit point for the world's crude oil. It's also in the top 10 countries for the largest oil reserves in the world. The foundation for this market economy lies in the collaboration between the seven emirates that are part of the UAE. These include the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, Ajman, Dubai, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Sharjah, and Al Quwain. These emirs jointly make up the Federal Supreme Council, which serves as the highest legislative and executive body in the UAE. The capital of the country is Abu Dhabi and Dubai because they are the country's centers of commercial and cultural activities. Dubai is UAE's most populous city with more than 2 million people, and it has emerged as a true global city with an eclectic cultural makeup. It also has a strategic location as a business getaway for the Middle East. In 2013, the Norway-based Global Network for Rights and Development ranked UAE as the 14th country in its annual International Human Rights Indicator report. This was the first among Arab countries. Only about 10% of the population in Dubai are Arabs, with the rest 90% being expatriates, most from Asia, with India 50% and Pakistan 16%. The largest group of Westerners are from the United Kingdom.
What forces shape the culture in the country of UAE and Dubai in particular? How similar or different are these forces from those that shape the culture of Western nations? A force which proved to shape the culture of UAE was the country operating on an open market economy. It uses a free price system which sets the price of products and services. An additional force that shapes the UAE is the collaboration between the seven emirates which make up the UAE. The fact that the Middle East and Africa is a business getaway for multinational enterprises from all the world's continents helps shape the culture. In comparison to Western nations, the UAE has many more expatriates, while Western nations have more locals and immigrants as the majority.
For more than a century and a half, the World Expo has featured creativity, education, and multinational companies. Known for their iconic style, each of them communicate a specifically crafted expo theme. They are the promise of a better future. Equidistance from Dubai and Abu Dhabi international airports, which connects almost 3,900 global destinations every day. The location that will become the Dubai Expo 2020. It's a natural crossroads for an exhibition on the subject of linking minds and shaping the future. The version of creativity by collaboration is discussed in three sub themes: opportunity, mobility, and sustainability, with each with its own dedicated zones. At the heart of the site is a plaza named Al Russell, the old name of Dubai, meaning communications. At the edge of the plaza is the Innovation Pavilion, a radically new pavilion model designed to maximize all levels of exhibition interaction with display, conversation, and immersion exhibits produced together by members, tourists, and guests. It is a place where ventures are developed and the themes and ideas come together and evolve. Moving out of the plaza, each of the three themes is organized with larger pavilion on the periphery and a smaller cluster in the direction of the center. This attracts pedestrians from all over the site to ensure that all pavilions have a vibrant appearance in the heart of the show. It is a style inspired by the traditional Arab souk architecture, marketplace renowned for its vibrancy and interactions. From the exciting energy of the souk to the areas of best practices and innovation prospects abound for new collaborations and to be formed between all nations and public sectors alike. It is just one of the ways that the themes of the exhibition are integrated into the fabric of the venue. The theme of versatility is expressed in the state of the art computer controlled logistic systems. A fully integrated underground tube system connects all major pavilions and support facilities to provide invisible service during the opening hours. The idea of sustainability is not only seen in revealed zero emissions of false inflation, but also in the long lasting and changing legacy strategy. After the show, the host pavilions need to be reconfigured to form a research facility and a university committed to further explore the themes and concepts of the show. But to feel the dedication of the exhibition to sustainability, all visitors need to do is look up. The iconic shade structure that covers a large part of the site is made up of photovoltaic fabric and part of the strategy to produce at least 50% of the export's power on site. And as night falls, it becomes part of the massive canvas for spectacular digital projection. These spectacular projections are only a prelude to a magnificent nighttime show that will unite large audience in powerful and exciting shared experiences. And the midpoint of the exhibition, marking the beginning of the golden jubilee of the United Arab Emirates of 2021, will unfold in the national sense of celebration, hope, optimism, and under the sky. Expo 2020 will celebrate the traditions of the past and the light for the future. In the following slides, we will be covering one basic question, and I will be discussing about the various factors that can actually lead to misunderstandings between the Western based visitors and the people from the UAE during the World Expo 2020. There are many factors that can lead to misunderstandings that can likely rise between the Western based visitors and the people from the United Arab Emirates. In my presentation, I would like to cover the top 3 factors that can lead to such misunderstandings. Religion can be defined as the things that are set apart from society as extraordinary, inspiring, and deserving of reverence. Religion, then, is a social institution that involves a unified system of belief and practices that recognizes the sacred. This is why religion is considered one of the main forces that shaped the culture in the country of UAE. The largest population that dominates the country is Islam. Most of the social matters, economic, politics, are controlled by the Islamic law, which is known as Sharia law. When understanding Arabic culture differences, we need to remember the impact of Islam on Arabic society. Islamic law, also known as Sharia law, is used in many regions for jurisprudence. Sharia law is also the basis for many Arabic values and is divided into five sections: educating the individuality, establishment of justice, upholding public and private morality, preventing hardship on society and individuals, and preventing oppression. There are many other things to keep in mind and how citizens of UAE practice their faith. For example, Muslims will pray 5 times a day, and all obligations and responsibilities are scheduled around these prayer times. You cannot expect the Emirati to disregard prayer time, nor should you expect them to be available on Friday or the weekends, as most Arabians will be spending time with their family. Since most Westerners are not fully aware with the laws and customs practiced in the UAE, some misunderstandings are bound to happen. Miscommunication due to language barrier can often lead to confusion, animosity, and misunderstandings. The fact is, even when face to face with another person in the very same room and speaking the same language, human communication is incredibly complex. Arabic is the official language spoken in the UAE. However, English, Hindi, Urdu, and Persian are also widely spoken. We must learn to accept, respect, and understand the culture norms and customs. We need to think before we speak in public, or if we joke with friends, or bring up a sensitive topic. It can often lead to miscommunications and misunderstandings, which can be avoided. The culture of UAE is the combination of traditional beliefs and modern values. The country is conservative when it comes to women. The UAE consists of male dominant societies, and more preference is given to men in any field like education, job, politics, etc. Only men are allowed to visit mosques to offer prayers. Cultures in the Western countries are totally different from that of UAE. Western countries are more broad minded and modern. The dominant religion is Christianity and offer prayer at church. Western culture considers men and women equal. They have different values, beliefs, and customs as compared to UAE. The Western culture has influenced different nations worldwide. People of different culture are adopting Western culture due to its modernized values. Women live their life with freedom. They are considered equally important than men. Women are allowed to take part in education, sports, politics, business, jobs, etc. People eat together, and there are no separate dining rooms for men and women. Women are also allowed to offer prayer at church. Women ideas and thought process are given importance both in family life and other external activities. Thus, there are a lot of cultural gap that exists between the UAE culture and Western culture.
Question 3 says, if I were in a position to advise a Western company that was considering doing business in UAE for the first time, what would my advice be? So firstly, I would advise them to go ahead with the investment. However, to consider the following factors in order for the business to be successful. So the first factor would be for the Western company to locate their business specifically in Dubai. This will benefit the business since Abu Dhabi and Dubai are UAE's center of commercial and cultural activities. It also has a strategic location as a business gateway for the Middle East and Africa. Locating in Dubai will also benefit the Western company since Dubai is the most populous city with more than 2 million people with an eclectic cultural makeup. This would mean a wider range of customers and more sales and profits for the new business. The business will also have a competitive advantage, especially in Dubai, where it has an eclectic cultural makeup, because as a Western company, they'll be bringing new ideas and something different into the market, as well as contributing to the cultural diversity. Question 3 continued. The second factor that I would advise the Western company on would be that since the UAE has an open market economy where prices of products and services are set using a free price system, they should use it to their advantage and come up with effective pricing strategies in order to gain as many customers and also try to eliminate competition. I would also advise the company to use appropriate marketing and promotional methods that accommodates for the cultural makeup in Dubai. For example, using different languages like Arabic, Hindi, Urdu, and English. This will benefit the business as it will be able to attract a wider variety of consumers from different backgrounds. Question 3 continued. I would advise the Western company that since Dubai is an Islamic religion with Arabic language and many other diverse cultures, they should accept, respect, and acknowledge the differences in cultures. As a business, they should also comply with policies or rules regarding their culture in order to avoid legal problems as well as risking losing customers. Accepting cultural differences will provide the Western company with wide range of expertise and will give them insight to overcome business-related problems as a way to cope with potential barriers regarding international business and culture. I would also advise them to evaluate their core uniqueness and how they can leverage this in the global market through focusing on similarities across culture instead of differences. My last advice to the Western company would be to explore creative and pioneer solutions to the three drivers of global development, which are sustainability, mobility, and opportunity.
Using Dubai as an example, do you believe the cultural similarities among people can outweigh cultural differences that exist in terms of doing business together in the future? I believe they cannot outweigh cultural similarities among people and other countries. Each country has its own culture and sets of beliefs that they wouldn't change just because of an export. These cultural differences may slow down the way business is conducted. Despite this, the business can resume as long as these cultural differences are respected. This is a big factor that can motivate countries to slowly adapt to change. The three key ideas, which are sustainable, mobility, and opportunity, are ideas that do not necessarily require countries to change in terms of doing business.